So today we're going to look at the quality of our relationships, because a lot of times you see people just say, it's our anniversary. We're celebrating 32 years of marriage. And a lot of times we don't look at the quality of the relationship. And sometimes you look at people that don't last for a year or 2 years or 5 years, 10 years, and like, oh, they don't know how to endure. Oh, they don't know what marriage really is. What exactly is marriage? So today we're going to talk about one of the silent killers of love in a relationship, and that is respect. Can love survive when respect is missing in a marriage? And erroneously, whenever respect is being spoken about in a relationship, a lot of people assume that respect just has to do with the female, respecting the male. A lot of people do not realize that for a relationship to thrive beautifully, blissfully, respect has to be mutual. So the first thing we're establishing on the show tonight is the fact that for every relationship, respect has to be mutual. Now, I want you to pause for a minute and just think about some amazing couples that have had great relationships. And you might even think about yourself. Maybe you are in a loving relationship. And have you ever sat down and wondered, how come people profess to love each other? Like, I lay my life on you. They sing love songs, always lovey-dovey. And the next thing you hear that the relationship is backing up. And even when you inquire, a lot of times all you get is irreconcilable differences. I can't kill myself. I want to die. I can't breathe. Lots of things. You're really not getting the meat of the story, because a lot of times when people separate, they really cannot itemize what went wrong. And it's not like they're hiding the information from you. The truth is, a lot of times, you must realize that marriage or any love relationship doesn't just break suddenly. It doesn't just happen. It breaks quietly. No big fights. But someday everything just changes. And if you interrogate, you feel like one person is feeling disrespected. The other person is saying, you don't value me. I don't feel valued in this relationship. And like, what do you mean you don't feel valued? I do this, I do that, I do that. Everybody starts itemizing what they do in the relationship. And the other person is saying, no, I feel overwhelmed. I feel disrespected. I feel emotionally drained. And when people are exchanging all the big grammars to, describe their emotions, love slowly begins to fade away from the relationship. You may have experienced it. You may know somebody that has experienced it. And today we want to talk about it, specifically through the lens of respect. Can a loving relationship survive when respect leaves? And we must understand that most times the problem is not big. A lot of times when people see people struggling in a relationship, the assumption is that there's one big problem. People just assume that somebody cheated. That's what is usually assumed. Or there was domestic violence involved. We always just imagine that it would be one big thing, but most times it's not. It's actually something small. And because we're not robots, we all live on this earth. We've all at one point in our lives experienced love, falling in love, probably still in love or out of love, looking for love. I'd like to know your thoughts. So I would give out our numbers and you can call. Join me in this conversation. Can a marriage survive? Can a loving relationship survive when respect is out of the equation? So the number to call is 090 6000 2420. 090 6000 2420. Hello to everybody joining us on our social media platforms. Remember, you can join us on our social media platforms at Dr. Dobra TIMI-WOOD. We're live on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and on YouTube, right? You could send a message, drop your thoughts, but you can call and let's speak to you on radio. If you can't get us on 090-6000-2420, alternatively, you can call 080-5455-4123. I'll take that number again. 080-5455-4123. Because we're looking at, can love survive when respect and appreciation disappears from the relationship? You know, while we speak about that, it is important that we begin by discussing what respect truly is. Because over the time, because I have the privilege of coaching a lot of people, I've discovered that a lot of people don't really know what respect is. Some people assume that respect is fear. The person must be scared of you. Some people assume that respect means literally lording over somebody, overpowering the person. Hello, did we lose the person? Hello. Okay, so try calling again. So one thing you should know, that respect is not fear. Respect is expressed in the way you speak to your partner, the way you listen to the person. It's expressed in how you value each other, how you handle disagreements. That is how respect is being expressed. It is not a, one-way thing of this is what respect is. Because a lot of times you would speak to married women and they were like, oh, the man is just saying I don't respect him. He's saying I don't respect him. How do I respect him? I respect him. And a lot of times the reason why you have such arguments is because people truly do not know what respect is. People feel for somebody to respect you means they're scared of you. Your presence just makes your partner shiver and just at attention, and the person just becomes monotonous. Yes, no. Oh, that means the person respects you. The person is no longer expressive. That is not respect. Another thing that it's very important for us to know is the fact that men and women experience respect differently. So if you're speaking with a man and he's talking about being respected, a man is most likely talking about being acknowledged. He wants to be acknowledged, right? He wants to feel heard, right? I hear you. I see you. I acknowledge you. You're not a ghost. You're not a breeze. We're together in it. So that is how men experience respect. So if you feel as though I'm doing everything, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm getting the house in order, everything is good. I mean, when he speaks, I say, yes, sir. Some people, I even call him yes, sir. So what does it mean I don't respect him? That is not necessarily what the man wants to experience. He wants in your daily interactions, in what you do, he feels acknowledged. He feels his voice is heard. He feels like he's a part of the process and you value what he does. For women, respect is seen mainly based on the value that they feel. It's seen as appreciation. Respect is the thank you. I see you. Oh my God, I love what you did. Not somebody going to heaven and back for you and you just do one careless, well done. That woman would interpret it as, you don't respect me. You don't respect my sacrifice. Do you know what I've gone through? Do you know what I've done? So you must understand that men and women experience respect differently. When a woman is cared for, she feels respected. It is important that we lay this background, because if you don't understand how both genders view respect, you will struggle with respect in your relationship. Now, if you're trying to call to share your thoughts on if love can survive in a relationship, When respect and appreciation is missing, you can call the number 090-6000-2420. I'll take it again, 090-6000-2420. Hello everyone on Instagram. I see you. You can share your thoughts. Alternatively, you can call 080-5455-4123. 080-5455-4123. You must understand that. Hello. It's as though the network is not a friend today. What happened? I know the weather, it was a bit windy earlier on. Is that what's affecting our calls? If you try and, if there was a glitch in the process, you can try again. Just keep calling until you get through to us, because, your thoughts will beautify our experience today. So we'd like to hear from you. Just before the person tried calling, I wanted to state that there would be people listening and you just wonder, okay, so how do I know if respect is missing in my relationship? How would I understand why there's this talk of you don't respect me, and you feel like you're doing everything? We're having a caller. You feel like you're doing everything, but why is this person feeling like I don't respect you? Why is there a struggle with respect? Why is respect something you talk about and complain about daily in your marriage or your relationship? Right. One of the signs that respect is breaking, respect is about leaving the door of the relationship, is the fact that communication becomes harsh. There's no love in your communication. There's no beauty. There's no friendship in your communication. There's no understanding in your communication. It is just straight harshness. It's just straightforward demands. You just know that really respect has disappeared. And when you get that realization, this is not the time you start performing respect, because a lot of people over time know how to perform respect because of our African upbringing. You know how we're brought up to show respect to our parents, right? So people now learn the art of performing respect. So when you notice that, respect has gone, you now start performing it. Now the sad part of performing it is that it is not sustainable. It is not sustainable, and the person you're faking it for will see through it, because how long can it last? Plus, because you are literally faking it, it will not energize your spirit. You feel drained, you feel tired. So it's as though you're trying to speak lovingly to somebody, but all your senses are stiff. Good afternoon. This is your food. How was your day? Have you eaten? Come on. The person would know that this is really forced affection, or the husband is speaking to the wife. And did you have a good day? How was work today? Hope nothing serious happened. Nobody offended you. It's as though it's a drill. When you see that communication is difficult, communication is stressful, you no longer enjoy communicating with your partner, that is a screaming sign that, hey, something is happening. You may have to go back to the drawing board and bring respect back into the relationship. That something is happening with respect there. Another sign is when one partner feels constantly overlooked. This is very instructive, and it happens a lot with women. When women feel overlooked, when they don't feel considered, when they don't feel acknowledged, when they don't feel valued, it breaks the woman's spirit. And it is interpreted as, my husband doesn't respect me. And the man might I respect you. How? So if you respect somebody, you would listen to their opinion. You would learn to see things from their lens. And even though you do not agree, because yes, there's a possibility that you may not agree. It's possible that you have a superior judgment, right? The way you would express it to the person would understand. But if you shut down your partner, now what you're saying is rubbish. Now you know you're not very smart. You know you're not very good at this thing. Now let me make the decision. When it comes to things like this, you're not very good. When you say that to your spouse, to your partner, you should just know that respect is out of here. Respect is out of here. So while we're dealing with it, do not forget our question. Can a marriage, can a relationship survive when respect and appreciation is missing? And as I say this to it, I'm sure that lots of examples, thoughts, and experiences you may have had would just be popping up in your head. And I know that for today, it's as though we're at loggerheads with network, right? But we have to win the battle, won't we? So try call the number. Try see if you can be patched through. Some people have called. It's been difficult. So try again, because I'd really, really love to hear your thoughts on this. Now, another sign is when arguments become about who is right, who is wrong, not on the integrity of what is being discussed. Now, first off, every union, every relationship would have times of argument. It's natural. It's not a bad thing. You are both living and breathing individuals. You have difference in opinion, difference in thoughts. It is very okay for you to look at things from different lenses, right? Even twins don't look at things exactly the same way. Some people feel like if they have divergent opinion on things, that means, oh my God, there's problem in paradise. No, it's completely okay. The important thing is, how are you handling it? So now, in handling the differences, when it's now about who is right, who is wrong, I'm right, you're wrong, when ego comes into play, you should know that that's a huge, huge indicator that, hey, respect is glitching in this relationship. Respect is glitching in this relationship. And when that happens, love begins to struggle. Love struggles where respect is absent. So for those that may feel like, it doesn't matter. As long as I love him, he loves me, we don't need to respect each other, the love will carry us through. That's not true. That's absolutely not true. Your love will struggle. You would have battles that are so unnecessary. So respect is a huge, huge part of your relationship. And beyond marital and emotional relationships, every other kind of relationship, our relationship with our parents, our relationship with our children, our relationship with our friends, our relationship with our colleagues, our relationship with our bosses, your relationship with your employer, whether you're an employee or you're an employer of labor, whatever kind of relationship we have, respect is an ingredient that must be present. And whatever the power dynamics in that relationship, you must remember that respect is mutual. The reason why a lot of relationships struggle is because a lot of people feel respect has to be one-sided, probably from the wife to the husband, from the employee to the employer, from the child to the parent, from the mentee to the mentor. There's an erroneous assumption that respect is from down up. That's not true. That is why there are lots of cracks in our relationship. Respect must be mutual. There's no relationship where respect just has to be one-sided. It won't work. There'll be cracks, there'll be resentment, there'll be bitterness, and the love that you thrive to experience will just slip through your hands. But the good news, and I think it's very important, it's very instructive that we talk about the good news. The good news is that respect can be rebuilt. So if you've been listening to me and you've discovered that, you know what, respect is missing out of your relationship. Respect has long gone. You really can't even remember where respect was ever there. And it feels like you've been struggling. It can come back. You can cultivate respect. And it starts by just learning. A lot of times we think that lots of things are spontaneous. They are not. You'd have to learn. You'd learn to respect each other. It's something that can be learned. Respect can be learned in every relationship. So let's not just make it about, love relationships. Respect can be learned in every relationship. So you learn it again. So let me ask you a question, and you could send a message to share your thoughts with us. What do you think is more important in a relationship? Respect or love? You can phone in. I mean, we have just few minutes, right? You can phone in to share your thoughts, but I mean, if the network is still fighting, you could send a message and tell us your thoughts. What do you think is more important? Respect or love? Because a lot of times people feel as though, as long as this person respects me, I'm good. What do I want to use love for? There are those that believe like, love is the cocoa, love is the important thing. I mean, love me, what do I need respect for? So what do you think? In a relationship, which do you think is more important? Respect or love? Now, to everybody just joining us, you've missed such a juicy session. If you're on social media, you are in luck. You can watch the replay, right? So the handle is Dr. Dobra TIMI-WOOD. Now, I need you to know that where respect is present, love has found a soil to grow. So it's a symbiotic relationship. They are not at parallels. Love and respect are not at parallels. They work together, right? So respect forms a very good soil for love to grow. But as we close, I have to put this caveat out there. It's very important I put this caveat out there because I understand that we have variety of, our listener. We have those that are more educated, less educated. So how you assimilate this information is different. That is why I have to put out this caveat. Respect in marriage is not the acceptance of abuse of all kinds. Domestic abuse, verbal abuse, financial abuse, sexual abuse, spiritual abuse, right? So somebody doesn't say, oh my God, I listened to the Resourceful Woman show. I listened to Dr. Dobra TIMI-WOOD and I really loved it. And she talked about respect. And no. That's not what we're talking about. Respect doesn't have to do with you being silenced. Please. I mean, this edition was such a delicious edition. If you're just joining, you need to run to our social media page and watch the replay, and you can send your questions. Next week, we have such a sizzling topic for you. Should I tell you? Fingers crossed, lips sealed. Go to our social media platform and see what we'll be discussing next week. It's been such an amazing privilege that I don't take for granted, that I come your way every Wednesday by 4:30 p.m. to share with you strategies, tips to navigate life intelligently and truly enjoy bliss in your life. Till I see you again next week, have a blissful experience. Good night.